In this video, you're going to learn how to use the Pandas library through 10 simple and fun examples. Before we jump in, we normally start by installing Pandas with a pip command, but since I already have it installed on my system, I won't run the command again. All right, let's begin with our very first example. Here, we're creating a basic data frame from scratch. Think of it like building a small table manually. Once the code runs, Pandas organizes the lists we provided into rows and columns, giving us a clean table structure. When we look at the output, we can clearly see columns like name, age, and city neatly arranged. This is where Pandas really starts to shine. It takes messy data and displays it in a structured, readable way. Now let's move on to the second example. In this one, we're reading data from a CSV file, specifically a file called data.csv. In real projects, most of the data you work with comes from external files, and Pandas makes loading that data incredibly easy. You can use the read function to load a CSV file into Pandas, and the head function shows the first few rows of the data. This lets you quickly preview the dataset and check its structure without displaying everything. In the third example, we check the first and last rows of the data frame using the head and tail functions. This is one of the fastest ways to inspect large datasets. Instead of scrolling or printing everything, we can instantly see the top 5 rows and then the bottom 5 rows. When we run the code, the output shows us exactly that. 2 small previews that help us confirm the structure of our data and make sure everything looks correct. Moving on to the fourth example, we focus on selecting specific columns from the data frame. First, we display just the name column by itself, which is useful when you only need one piece of information. Then we expand our selection to show name, age, and city together, giving us a mini table with multiple columns for a broader view of the data. In the fifth example, we filter our data. We apply a condition that selects only the people who are older than 28. Filtering data is a core part of almost every analysis workflow. Once the code runs, the output displays only the rows that meet our condition. In this case, individuals whose age is greater than 28. Everything else is filtered out, leaving us with a smaller, more specific dataset. The sixth example is where we add a brand new column. Here, we take the age values and multiply them by 2 to create a new column. Adding columns like this is a common way to enrich your dataset or perform simple calculations. After doing this, the new column appears alongside the existing ones, giving extra information in each row. This makes the table more informative and useful for analysis. Next, in example 7, we learn how to remove a column from the data frame. After adding a new column in the previous example, we now drop it to clean up the table. Dropping columns is useful when you no longer need certain data or want to simplify your dataset. Once the operation is done, the column disappears and the table returns to its original structure. This is a common step in data cleaning and preparation. In example 8, we handle missing data. We intentionally introduce some blanks in the dataset to simulate real-world scenarios where information might be incomplete. First, we check how many missing values exist in each column. You can do this with a simple command that tells you the count of missing entries for each column. Once we see the result, we know exactly where the gaps are. Next, we fill those missing values with defaults, like 0 for age and unknown for city, so the dataset is complete and ready for analysis. This ensures our dataset is complete and ready for analysis, which is a crucial step in any data workflow. Example 9 demonstrates grouping data. Here we group the dataset by name and calculate the average score for each person. In our CSV file, there's only one entry for each name, but if you try this on a file with multiple entries per name, you'll get even better results. After running this, we get a clean summary table that shows each name along with their corresponding average score. Finally, in example 10, we save the data frame to a new CSV file. This is how we export our cleaned and modified data so it can be used elsewhere. Once the operation is complete, a new file appears with all the updates applied. Saving data like this is an essential step when you want to preserve your work or share it with others. If you enjoy this kind of Python training, make sure to check out the courses section. There are tons of helpful Python lessons available there. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider joining or subscribing on YouTube. Keep learning and see you in the next video.